Today's letter is F for frost. It's now day 52. We had of lockdown learning, cow isolation. We had quite a hard frost last night. Got down to minus 1.6 for 3 hours, which doesn't sound long, but it's 1.6 is pretty cold. So I'm just checking the sunflowers this morning. They look like we've got away with it. It's about -3 normally. It can seriously affect them, if not kill them. So hopefully they look a little bit squatted down this morning compared to last night, but hopefully they'll perk up now the sun's out and it gets a bit warmer. So we'll have a look at them later, but I can't see any damage so far, so hopefully they're all right. Just checking the potatoes now. Look a little bit sad and a little bit wilted compared to yesterday, but hopefully when it warms up they'll perk back up. But the leaves haven't gone black. Sometimes they'll go black and they'll just fall completely over. So I think we've got away with it, but we don't really want any more frost this year now, especially no colder than last night. It's just a pain really. You get all this nice weather and it's 20 odd degrees and 25 degrees and you think summer's here, or at least we're going to have a good spring, and then you get some real cold snaps and it just puts everything right back. But anyway, we'll see how we get on. Fingers crossed later on it's going to get 15 to 16 degrees. They'll perk back up and should recover. Quite sheltered here because they're behind the yard, and there's quite a bit of like pile of compost there and stuff like that, and green waste, which is quite warm. So we'll see how they go later on. So the cherry picking out, taking the fans down out the rape store. They've emptied out below, so we don't need them anymore. The dad's just now crunched this with the cherry picker. Damaged that one, never mind. So the big fans up there on them tubes, every time temperature drops overnight, so like last night for instance when it was minus 1.6, if the temperature of the pile of grain, which is now oilseed rape today, was 5 degrees warmer than the outside temperature, the fans would automatically turn on and pull cold air through the heap, and that way it cools it down and it keeps longer and it keeps fresher. So it's basically like a big fridge. So these little aerials up there, they talk to a SIM card, to a computer, and then every time it needs to, it'll record the temperature all the time in different points in the pile, and it keeps pulling cold air through every time it gets the opportunity to, because when it harvests it comes in, it's about 25-27 degrees, but we need to cool it to under about 10 to keep longer. So at the moment I think the pile sat at about 7 degrees because of all the cold weather we had over winter's pulled it down, and it'll stay like that for quite a long time really, as long as we can keep cold air moving through it. So the wood chipper's down backwards. Had a fault with it since last Friday on the computer, saying that there's something wrong with the AdBlue system. You know, they've been out this morning with a laptop, plugged it in, said that there's something wrong with the AdBlue we were using. They've tested the AdBlue, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a gremlin somewhere. So hopefully it won't do it again, and they've reset it. So Sam's now loading the excavator. There's some nice chip coming out the other side. My dad's reaching about on the other telehandler, getting in everyone's way. So you put logs and trees in, you get this out the other side. Process there. And that blue skip there, if there's any metal in it, it comes out on a magnet. Magnet layer belt, throws it into the skip. It doesn't damage any machinery that uses the wood chip afterwards. Yep. It's like great. So I'm just on the field now that's right on the coast. And now all these geese, there's a load just flown off now. There's some more in front of me here. They've basically grazed this field off here, so you can see that it's still in little tiny rows, and there you go, they're just taking off now as I'm coming towards them with the sprayer. Putting a bit of fertiliser on, and I'm hoping that it'll make it taste a bit salty, and they might leave it alone for a few days for give it a chance to recover. Well, they've grazed it off like cows would. Bit of a pain really. So maybe today's letter of the day should be G, the geese. Like where the geese haven't been. It's quite thick and you can hardly see the ground other than where the tram lines are. But if we get to the far end in a second, can't go too quick otherwise it won't put the right rate on. slow down a bit. But these geese are back on already. They flew off while I drove past them and now they've come back on again. But if you look at this far bit that we're coming towards, you can see it's a lighter shade of green, and it's just grazed off to about 1 inch off the floor, whereas this crop here is probably about 6 or 8 inches off the floor. There they are there now, just waddling a bit closer to the shore. If you look now though, it starts to get thinner and thinner and thinner, and then it gets to about this point now where it's more soil than crop because they've just chewed it off. It's amazing what damage they can do. So we're just spraying this field of wheat here, and there's a big pylon there, and because of the pylon we've had to go round it, and the sprayer, look, when we put the herbicide on, has missed a bit, so I don't know whether you can see that little triangle. It's basically got brome grass in around the wheat. So if you look, try and get out the shadow, see this triangle there of grass weeds, massive. So that's what it should look like, and that's what it looks like there. So that just shows you the importance of using the herbicide to control grass weeds. So it's just the crop in the middle is just so thin and spindly because all the nutrients have been taken away by the grass weeds. I just thought it was a good illustration as to why farmers use herbicides. The rest of the field looks okay though. So I'm just waiting to cross the railway, and they said there was a train coming, and it's like about a mile long. It looks to be fuel for Drax power station. So it must be coal coming from the docks maybe. It's heading from the docks towards Manchester or Hull. Another train there that they had to stop while I closed the gates. Never happened before. Normally tell me it's clear and nothing ever comes. Well, when I went back to close the gates, there was a train coming. So anyway, it did stop, and then I had to close the gates, and then it carried on. A bit random, never seen that. But there we go. Just in the sunflower field now. It's now about 7 o'clock, half 7 I think, and they seem to be looking fine and dandy after the cold weather last night, so they recovered well, so happy days. See you all tomorrow.